And we are live.
Good morning.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon from Atlanta, guys.
Hi, you guys.
Hi.
So for anyone that's in our channel that didn't know already, we are part of this amazing group called Generation 1099. And this is a once a month show we do all together, and we all get together and talk about reselling as well as our other side hustles, because we all do a little extra. And well, I'll let them introduce themselves. Go ahead. Yvon first. I mean, and also, by the way, Yvon, this is her show. We're just cycling through.
We're going to do oldest to youngest. Okay, I got it.
No, you're not. Well, we're all older than Tiffany and Hugo.
I don't know. I just went off of the little cubes in our thing.
Yeah, I forgot. I'm the oldest. Hi, you guys. Yeah, I'm Yvon, Thrifty Rich. It's not really my show. It's our show. But I just kind of like had the idea, so to speak, to help out my commitment to eBay Seller Diversity Advocate Influencer Program that I volunteered for. So I'm never going to blow smoke up your skirt, okay? So I'm Yvon, Thrifty Rich, and that's the name of my channel and my Instagram and my Facebook. And these are some of my great friends that I've met either through Instagram, Facebook, eBay Open. Oh my gosh, whatever. Hi.
Hi.
All right.
Kenneth?
Greetings from Atlanta, guys. I've been doing eBay for about 2 years, and gosh, I'm still in that struggle of trying to find motivation to list. Even the cha-chings can't do it. But I've got a couple of other things going on. So, hey guys, welcome to the show.
I'm Julie. I'm from South Florida. You can see behind me. My Instagram handle is Casa Chic Store. I have 2 eBay stores, which I've had. I think I just celebrated my 19th anniversary on eBay, and I sell on Poshmark. And I'm a lawyer, so I do some legal work on the side, and I really love reselling. And I'm so excited to be part of this group.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. And again, this is an awesome group. If you guys haven't already seen our previous episodes, they are on Yvonne's channel. And we're on episode 5, if I did the numbers right. So there's 4 other ones you guys could go over there and catch up and listen to. The beauty of it is you could watch this or just have it playing and listen to it. And we got all kinds of tips, tricks, mistakes. Truths.
Confessions.
Yeah, all kinds of stuff going on. But we'll get going, and I think everyone can see us and hear us loud and clear, because I only have the chat up. I don't have the video up, so it doesn't mess with our bandwidth. But we'll start with the first segment, which is our unique sale of the day, or Bolo.
Okay, so oldest to youngest, me first. Hey, I do have some other windows set up if you want me to try to screen share again.
Go for it.
Okay, you guys be patient with us, okay? We're all learning the screen sharing business, so I think I can do it. Excuse me for 1 minute. And somebody tell me if I'm doing right or wrong. Okay, so application window. Guys, what do you see?
Right now we see you, but yeah. I don't have the video up.
Okay, hang on. Got it. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let me pull this up so I can work with it. Okay, so this is I just did a what sold video yesterday over on my channel, okay? So here's some of the things. So I'm going to pull out 2 things for this episode. I sold another boob. Yes, I did. This isn't like a like what a padded or anything. This is a real prosthetic device by a well-known company. So I think they sell for a couple $100 new. This one still looks new. but I just let it go for $38. It was sold very quickly. I've had it for a while because I was thinking about just donating it to one of my local centers, but I just ran through all my hard goods the last 3 or 4 weeks and decided just to throw it up, just also to learn and to see what would happen. So there's that. It was $3 at the thrift store. So that's not a bad return, right? And it didn't take long. It wasn't hard to photograph or anything. Let me show you the back. So you see it has the
That's a good brand.
yeah, that's a good brand, and they're all different. They're by sizes and color. So
Right.
okay. And then the other thing I'll pull out, since again I just did a what sold video for those of you who like that, is this cat. I'm not big on this kind of thing. This was only about 4 inches, maybe 4 or 5 inches, and it looks like just a imported trinket. But when you look closer, you can tell a little bit more quality, and certainly when you pick it up, you will notice, oh, this thing is heavy for being like this big. This is heavy. And you turn, it's because it's solid glass. You turn it over, it's a Fenton. So, and it is a calendar cat. Each one had a different rhinestone, not gemstone, rhinestone necklace for a color of birth month. So it sold pretty quickly for $26. I paid like 99 cents. So
Nice.
interesting. I'm not real big on that kind of stuff, but I don't know. I'm kind of getting back into the hard goods. It does sell. Wait a minute, let me pull up the bottom for you guys real quick because it was signed. See, Fenton, hand painted in the USA, and it was signed by the particular collab artist of that time. I do not know the exact date of this. Okay, so let me stop sharing. I think we did that really nicely.
Yeah, you're doing great with the sharing now. And you're
Good.
back.
Woo!
Good job.
All right. So who would be next?
Okay.
Or
If
we're going in order.
oh, I don't know.
Julie.
Reverse order.
You want me? I'm going to try a screen share too. Let's see if I can do it.
Oh, go Julie. Go Julie.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Good job.
Poshmark announced last week that you can now sell things that aren't clothes, including coffee table books. And this was my first Poshmark home goods sale. It was actually to one of my Instagram followers. So I don't know if that's coincident or what, but this was just a coffee table book that I bought a while ago. And the book scanners, I don't sell books in general. I'm not a book scanner. I don't send books into Amazon, but I love books. And I was an English major. So I always look at the books, and don't be discouraged by booksellers, because the booksellers come in and they have that little scanner thing on their arm, and they scan the books and throw them, and they seem very aggressive often. But if the books don't have a barcode, they don't waste their time on them. And it's very easy. You can go on the Amazon app and take a picture, like look through the camera on your phone on Amazon and it will pull up the book. So I find coffee table books all the time that the scanners miss because they don't waste their time if there's no barcode. So that book was missing its dust jacket, so it didn't have a barcode. And sometimes books don't have the barcodes right on the back, so they ignore them. So if you see big coffee table books, you might want to take a second to look them up, because not only can you sell them on Amazon and eBay now, you can sell them on Poshmark also. And books you can ship media mail on eBay or Amazon, which is really cheap to ship media mail. So even if a book is 3 or 4 pounds, it's maybe $3 or $4 to ship. And on Poshmark, the books ship priority mail. So keep an eye out for those books, those coffee table books that don't have barcodes.
That's an awesome one, especially because I feel like that just got started right now, and you already got your sale on that. You got your foot in the door with that.
Yeah, I listed a lot of hard goods there. Nothing else is sold yet, but I think it just went live on Thursday or Friday. So we'll see.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's go on to Kenneth. Do you have anything I know you got all kinds of stuff going on, not necessarily reselling, but you got a lot going on.
I do. In all honesty, too much. I'm learning to delegate though, so hopefully, the problem with delegating, it's so expensive. As far as buying stuff, I rarely ever mess with shoes. But just last week, I went into the local Salvation and picked up some Wesco boots. Have you guys ever heard of Wesco? These are like job work boots, steel toed.
Like Red Wing?
They're similar to Red Wing, but Wesco, some of the used boots are selling for $300. I'm too busy. I didn't really research it much. I just saw what soles were and used at 300. I picked them up for 25 bucks. What did I pick up? I picked this beautiful. I love racing jackets. Not that I'm a big fan of racing, but I love the graphics on most of them. That's some Buckeyes, someone. I'm sure will bring a few bucks. But as far as sales, I have not had a cha-ching in 30 days. That's due to the fact I put my store on vacation, guys. And that's about it.
I love that jacket.
I do too.
Yeah, that's a pretty awesome jacket. I mean, like you said, I don't watch racing, but that's a cool jacket.
Yeah.
Well, then we'll do our sales now. So I'll let
Our most recent one.
So yeah, not sure if anyone that's already seen our channel or follows on Instagram. Again, you can follow all of us here on Instagram, and we do share a lot of the stuff that we're talking about now throughout the month. But a while back, I picked up a 8-track player. I'm a sucker for vintage electronics. Part of me wants to wish it's worth something to pick it up and sell it. Not always just to make money, but kind of save it because it's just built differently. So this was a wood case, we call it 8-track player. It was basic. I'd screen share, but I'll try another time. But picked it up for, I think it was 20 bucks, and we were able to sell it for 65 plus shipping.
Nice.
And easy shipping too. You think 8-track player, it sounds kind of scary and electronic. The reality is I did 3 rounds of bubble wrap and it still fit inside a large flat rate. So easy shipping. But it's unique in that, I mean, personally, once I found one, I found like 3 other ones, like the following week, random places from yard sales to thrift stores.
Wow.
But it's just, again, it's media. And the reason I picked it up was because I saw that people still love vinyl, but kind of more on the hipster side, people started picking up vinyl again and records.
Mm-hmm.
And once something gets saturated, somebody wants to do something else that's random. So then I was like, oh, let's try an 8-track player. I'm sure someone's going to start doing 8-track. So who knows? Maybe we're bringing it up more.
And Kenneth's right. We did test it with Johnny Cash.
Yep.
And that was the one.
That's the one.
Did you pick it up and go, what is this?
Oh, I knew exactly what it was.
I think we have
I have another one too, but we were going to sell the other one. But the other one I got is a nice full Panasonic one from 70 something. But it's a tuner receiver along with this pop-up 8-track that's really cool. And it comes with its original speakers. And picked it up for, I think it was $14 for the whole thing.
It's big.
It's big. But then I think we're going to keep it because it works. And the radio works. So it'd be a great piece to have in our living room.
Conversation piece. And man, you can pick up 8-tracks for nothing. You could probably get them free because some people are like, this is, but you're right. That could come back around. You're right. Conversation.
And then we went sourcing one day and I saw this like burgundy pea coat from a distance. And when I went up to look on the inside flap, it was a Ted Baker pea coat and the thrift store had it for $8. So I picked it up and I think I only saw one sold. There was no completeds. There was only one sold for, I don't know, like $100, I think maybe, but it was in black. I picked up this burgundy one. I listed it, I think within that week, we sold it for, with shipping, $125. This was like on my last day in Dallas. I think when I was in Dallas, I listed this jacket up and then it sold the next day.
Ted Baker, you said? Ted Baker?
Yeah, it was a Ted Baker pea coat. A Ted Baker men's pea coat.
Oh. Someone got a good deal too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think, I mean, that's our big, our two, not just big, just more unique stuff that we don't normally sell.
I know we normally don't find Ted Baker in our stores around here. I haven't found one yet. I found a Ted. Did they do a collab with Target? Did he do a diffuser?
I don't think I'm not sure if he did.
Okay, I don't think I've ever found a Ted Baker. I would like to. I've got a Ted Baker dress bookmarked that I want to buy that I can't afford.
They have a Ted Baker store in the mall here. So I find it a lot. I think if there's a store near where you live, the chances are higher of finding it.
Right.
And they have a weird sizing chart for women, at least.
They do.
It's like 1, 2, 3, I think, for women. So if you find a size 2, it's really a medium.
Like vanity sizing, like what?
It's just confusing.
If you pick up a James purse,
same
thing.
Yep. Confusing.
Yeah. We don't have a Ted Baker on our part of LA, but I know there is one on the west coast.
Yeah, on the west side.
So that's probably where you would be able to find it too. But besides those two, I mean, we had the bread and butter sales, long sleeve men's shirt, different brands, but nothing too high of margins. But this month in general, because she just finished doing our numbers, so I mean, we had amazing sales this month.
Good.
Now, with that though, we will move on to the next segment, which is Reseller Confessions, or my bad, if you'd like to share.
I've got a confession. No, I was a good girl this month, but I have a what the F. Can I do that one?
Yeah.
Okay, so there was something on Poshmark that I wanted to buy, but she just threw up 3 blurry pictures and nothing else. And so I put in a message, on Poshmark. I'm like, waist and inseam. I'm a tall girl. I need to know the inseam. Waist and the inseam measurements, please. And then I get a message back, or I get a notification. I go back in. So she writes me 2 messages. Get this, 2 messages. The first one is simply this icon. I don't know. And then she comes back later and gives another one that says, I'm selling things too low to be bothered with measurements. I didn't say anything. I just left it alone and went over to eBay to look for the same product. It's kind of a harder to find thing. But I was like, you had time to send me 2 messages, reply twice, but you couldn't go just measure real quick? That was crazy. So anyways, we won't see her probably very long on Poshmark unless she ups her, levels up, right? So that's me that's my what the F complaining. But she lost a sale. So yeah, it wasn't a very high-end item, but come on now. If you want to be a reseller, be professional. There's money to be made. Rant over.
No, totally. I think, I don't know what happened there, but
we lost Julie.
Julie just popped off there.
She'll probably come back.
Yeah, she'll pop at any moment. But no, related to that, we've seen just items out there that, especially in the beginning with Poshmark, when we're sharing different people's closets that we didn't know, or sharing off the feed, especially because trying to get the whole ambassador stuff. Mm-hmm. The quality of some of the pictures on there are very poor, and also the descriptions or titles, like we've come across things that would just say dress shirt, and it's like, okay, like anything else, like we weren't buying it, but while sharing it, we're thinking, well, why did you put the time to list this?
Yeah.
At that point, you're not going to get any traction.
Right? Why are you making us work for it? Like,
Yeah.
why are you making us work for your money?
You guys wouldn't believe. I've been researching measurements and how people present them for a while now. And I go from Reddit to Facebook to Poshmark to eBay, all of their forums. And it's pretty common practice for these people to think that because their item's selling for $18, that all they have to do is say it's an extra large or a medium and be done with it. And when I would, for instance, Reddit especially, I was going through some of those topics and posts, and so many people supported that. I don't have time to measure. If you got time to take a photograph, you got time to measure. Makes no sense to me either.
Well, I think that Poshmark billed itself as just the common person just selling stuff out of their closet. And so there are a lot of people that aren't resellers because Poshmark is so easy to list that they probably just don't care. You know, they just are trying to get stuff out of their closet. And that's probably what Yvon's seller was.
Yeah.
But who knows?
That's a good point, because yeah, it's supposed to be, the premise was selling out of our closet. So
Yeah.
like you kind of like, this is my size, and like maybe you could put up your dimensions. And be
Right.
like,
Or
everything fit me. So here you go. But yeah, but it's evolved. I don't
Right.
even want to rant because I'm not hosting this month about what I discovered on Poshmark. I got a big rant coming up next month or somewhere in between about what I
You're gonna make us
discovered
wait.
on Poshmark. But anyways, go ahead, y'all.
You're gonna make us wait a whole month.
Oh, it's blowing up. It is blowing up, and they are going to have to get some controls in place, or it's going to be as bad as the way the let me be delicate, the out of country, some of the out of handle eBay. Let me just say it like that. It's going to be pretty bad. There's starting to be a lot of spam. The infighting is ridiculous. On the comments is ridiculous. But anyways, that's all. I'm still making money over there. I'm a professional for the most part. I will figure it out. Carry on, y'all.
How about you, Julie? Do you have any
Well, twice this month I sold something on Poshmark and didn't delete it on eBay. And it sold again on eBay. So I had to cancel the sales. And so I really recommend that if you are selling on one platform, that you start cross-posting to another platform, because sometimes Poshmark's busy and sometimes it's not. And sometimes eBay's busy and sometimes it's not. And I sold something on Mercari yesterday for $500 and the fee on Mercari is only $50, which is amazing, right? So cross-posting is a wonderful way for you to build your profits and cast a wider net. However, you need to make sure you delete it, because eBay, you can get in trouble like that. Luckily, I don't have any other defects on my account, so those two aren't going to kill me. I ship on time and all that. But if I was like on the cusp of losing my top-rated seller, that would have, because eBay, there's like couple things that can get you in trouble at eBay, and that's selling something different than what you say it is. So if you say something is one thing and you're sending something else, or you ship late, or you don't have it in stock. Those are like the three things that are really can get you in trouble in eBay. And I did it not once, but twice. So bad. But, you know.
It happens.
Twice was bad.
Well, oddly enough, that's how when we first started cross-posting and we weren't 100% on it to delete, because we were under that assumption. It's one of those things where it's kind of too many cooks in the kitchen where you just assume the other person did it, but nobody did it. So she would assume that I took it down. I assume she took it down. Then later that day, we see the sale, and it's like, no.
But luckily, we haven't had Julie's problem with eBay being the second sale. We always had Mercari or Poshmark being the second sale. And so we haven't had to deal with that, luckily.
And part of the reason is we're often out away from home. So we use our phones to go on and delete the cross posts.
Right.
On eBay, when it sells, we're good. On Poshmark, we normally look it up in our closet through like brand or something. We can find it real quick. On Mercari, we can put the exact title in the search and we can't find our item. And sometimes it's such a headache.
We weren't doing that before.
Well, even then, still now, sometimes we'll put the exact wording and we just can't find our item. And then you go on the desktop, you put exactly the same phrase and it pops up. So even trying to be on top of it, we still get, tripped up.
Yeah, Mercari is not seller friendly that way at all. It's very hard to, if you go in and delete your items from there, it takes you back. Like it's not a seller friendly app in that way to manage your inventory at all. And like I have a bunch of old stuff that I want to delete, but it's such a pain even to delete stuff on there that it's like a weird app, but the fees are so cheap that it's worth the trouble, I think. Like, I mean, literally, this was a $500 sale. I listed on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. It sold for full price on Mercari, like within an hour of listing it. And the buyer's paying shipping, and I'm saving. If it would have sold on Poshmark, my fees would have been $100. So, I mean, that's a huge difference. So it's worth posting over there, even though it's not as easy to maneuver as eBay. Hopefully they'll change.
Yeah, well, like we try to, just like on eBay, Posh, we send out offers on Mercari as well. And we'll be going down. If I'm going through and I just tap the promote button, I can do it without changing my order. If I accidentally click the item and I'm 100, 200 items down the list, it shoots me right up to the beginning.
Yeah, it's a pain.
And it is. And that's after that happens like 3 times. I'm like, you know what? I'm done offers.
I want to know what that was.
I'll tell you later. I'm saving it for my sourcing school students.
Oh, okay. I get it.
I'll tell you privately because you're my pal.
What was ours? Oh, we messed up on shipping.
Well, let's see. Kenneth, do you have anything?
Oh, Kenneth doesn't.
What was the topic? I'm lost.
My bad.
Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yeah, any my bad.
No, I'm perfect this month.
Well, your store's on vacation, so okay.
Yeah. Vacation mode, so yeah.
How about in the salon? Did you do something stupid that your wife's mad at you? What happened over there?
Oh, that, truthfully, after, what have we been married now? 35 years?
Oh.
That's pretty common. She's just pissed all the time. No, I'm joking. No, everything's good.
Good. I didn't know that. 35 years.
Yeah.
That's awesome, yeah. Something related to that. I know we on Friday we just celebrated our 4-year anniversary. Married.
Yeah, married for.
And then coming up at the end of June will be 10 years together.
Wow, that's amazing.
Congratulations, guys.
I'll be heartbroken if you guys don't make it. I'll be like, oh, sucks.
I'm gonna take a lot for it. I always joked around. I had a 12-year plan because we've known each other since we were in 6th grade. But we've known each other
21 years.
Yeah, but we were pretty much best friends throughout school. But I did have a crush on her. But I was also this very awkward, nerdy, kid who didn't really talk to girls.
I liked you, and then you held hands with a girl in 7th grade and broke my heart.
That was
This is so cute.
I held her hand Friday afternoon. Then Monday morning, when we saw each other again and talked, this is middle school, we broke up. And then she never forgot I held her hand going to
your lunch money.
Oh, I would steal his lunch.
She would steal my lunch.
Half your lunch. I didn't steal your whole lunch.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
I married my bully. No, but coming back onto this, so our what the F's or confessions.
So we tell everyone that's close to us what we do, which means that we get a lot of their donation stuff. And so my boss gave us these. He used to work in Hollywood, and he worked specifically for Paramount. And so he had these like limited edition Star Trek figurines, but they were these big boxes. One was
I don't know the characters.
Captain Kirk, and then the other one was the Borg. And the two boxes looked similar in dimensions, but one was heavier. It wasn't going anywhere when we had it on Buy It Now. And so 2 weeks ago, we started doing our weekly auctions again. And we put it up on auctions, it sold. When I was listing it on auctions, we were just in our office, and I would ask Hugo, like, hey, what do you think this is going to ship for? He gave me a number. Oh, the boxes, they weren't too bad. So I put it up. Well, they both sold. And when they sold, one box ended up being heavier.
Well, one box was true to shipping.
Yes. The other one was not. So we lost $2 on the heavier one. But the other one we made like $6. So
yeah, I mean, again, this is stuff that was given to us to, and then the other reason too we had this going on is it's not an item we would ever really pick up ourselves.
Yeah.
Off the back, it's not really profitable. But Tiff's, I mean, it's not easy to keep track, so we don't recommend it to everyone. But she started using up our auctions again. So I mean, it's part of our subscription. But a lot of us don't use our auctions.
Yeah.
We just use our listings for, what do you call it, Buy It Now or fixed price. But she's been doing the auctions, and we threw that into auction, and it sold in auction. But yeah.
Yeah, but we messed up on shipping there.
Happens.
WTFs on Posh, we were back and forth with this guy who was trying to buy a Peter Millar collared polo thing from us. And he offered, I think it was like $8. He went to 10. We countered. He went to 15, and we stopped at $20.
Yeah.
Right. We stopped at 20, and then he came back with 15, and then we went back to 20, and this went on
days.
It's still
going on now.
I think I have, in order for me to show how many times we've gone back and forth, I have to record on my phone because a screenshot won't show all the interactions with him. And, for us, I don't care. I'll just counter. It isn't, it takes like 2 seconds to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the principle, because he just kept coming back, and then he declined our offer and then said, if you don't take this, this is the absolute last time. You're going to lose my sale. So I countered the 20, and then he came back with 15 again.
And then I declined a couple. So again, we're in this together. So she's at the office, at school, and I'm at the restaurant. I'd see it, and I could see it, the history. So I'm like, you know what, decline. And then he sends another offer, the same thing. I was like,
Declined the next day. He did the same thing, and he still countered at, and then he countered at 19.
No.
Then I was over it. So I declined it.
You probably should have took 19, but I get it. I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah.
That was ours.
Well, actually, there was one thing that happened was I can't remember if we already talked about it on this show because we've talked about it on one of the other lives.
Moldy pants?
Yeah, moldy pants.
No,
did we tell you guys about moldy pants?
No.
Oh.
All right.
So I picked up a pair of Prairie Underground pants from the bins. So it was $1.25. We sold it for, I think, somewhere between $40 to $50 on eBay. I know I washed the pants. They came from the bins. I did not just steam them because they were from the bins. Well, we sent them out, and I think within a week, we get a message back requesting a return. We offer free returns on that item. And the message was that these pants were damp and smelled moldy. We offer free returns. I know I washed them.
We're like, you know what? And I thought, maybe something happened along the way. There's random shower rains, you know, along the way. It might have gotten wet, damaged during
transit. I don't know. Well, we got the pants back. We got them back. We opened it up. Nothing was wrong with them. Absolutely clean. Nothing wrong. It smelled like freaking detergent. And there's like wet. There's just absolutely nothing wrong. There's no stains or anything. So it probably didn't fit the person. Yeah. And they wanted, or it didn't look, it's not a flattering looking pair of pants, but you know, they probably didn't like it. So then we called eBay because of that, you know, note.
Well, the main thing was that they had that note and I was like, you know what, nothing's wrong. I'm going to do a return. And then I was like, you know what, this came back as item not as described. That is something that we'll take a note onto our account. You know what, I'm just going to call him to see what's going on. So I called him and this long message back and forth with the guy. And it's just like, my concern is we do our best to keep our account clean. And the guy's like, oh, but your return rate is so low right now, and this is just not going to affect you at all. Okay, not at all because our return rate is low, or not at all because it's not going to affect us. I told them, you know, in our case, what if I had an emergency where I let default 5 shippings in one day, and they all go default, and then my account gets put up on, you know, excuse me, flagged or something. And it's because I had this one return that was nothing to do with me. Yeah. And finally, the guy back and forth, like, you're fine, don't worry. And I was like, he put a note on it. I was like, all right, we'll leave it. Hung up, and I was like, I'll go do the refund. And while doing the refund, I realized the system was forcing me to refund the buyer the original shipping. And that's when it hit me. That's why they put this item as not described, because they're forcing our hand to return the full price they paid for the original shipping. And that, again, the shipping cost, and I said this in our story, if you guys follow us on Instagram, and it's a matter of like $4, which is not a huge deal. We just add that to the cost of our goods when we resell it.
But it's a principle.
It's back and forth. It's and plus you pay for their label to send it back.
Exactly. So at that point, we did free shipping. We essentially had free shipping for return, and we didn't have that calculated in an original price point for it. So then I called eBay again. I was like, no. Like, they know what they're doing, and went through, and they're like, oh, again, you know, your return rate is like, again, that's nothing to do with it. I was like, this person is playing the system, and right now they're playing us. And I told them it's $4. You know, I can let go of a cup of coffee. I'm fine. But the problem here is, if this person knows how to do this with an item that cost me $4 to ship, I was like, what if they had bought an electronic? What if they bought something bigger, that when they bought it, they bought the wrong thing, and then they send it back and get their shipping back on $60 worth of shipping, and for someone who doesn't know that you can call this in, somebody, you know. And it's like, oh, I can see. But then again, and then they were telling us, like, but your item isn't free return. And I was like, whoa.
We had our app open.
Yeah, everything. And then he clarified it, and he's like, okay, no, you do have free return. And that's when I kind of felt like a lawyer for a moment. And I was like, well, according to your reseller update from spring, if we offer free returns, you add added protection to us by covering any kind of expenses or really taking care of us as a seller, because we offered free returns, and they went around the system to get not only free returns, but get their full money back, and just went on and on with them. And next thing you know, like the guy told us, you know, you do a partial refund. So we did. We gave them back the refund for the item, but we definitely discounted the shipping. But our main point there was, I told them, like, you know, flag it, because if they do this to somebody else who's new, this might deter them from selling on the platform, and we all want healthy selling, buying platform.
Exactly. So, I was going to ask you, what about the protection plan? Is that, I don't do free shipping, so I was free return. Sorry. So I was going to ask you about that. So that's still in place, huh?
Yeah. So, I mean, with that, I mean, then the guy told us, like, look, you have a complete justified reason to not give them the full refund, and we'll protect you if they contest it. If they contest it and they feel they're in the right, we'll pay the half of was like, all right, that's fine. So I guess that's part of their protection.
Did you still report them so that if they do have a history, you're in line too? So we
Yeah,
can.
that's what I told them. I want to make sure we start a line, and I said that in our Instagram too. That I want to, that we should try to create. It's annoying sometimes to call eBay for things, and it's a small thing. But if you get enough attention on buyers who are abusing the system, it protects other sellers. So we kind of protect each other that way.
Yeah, because there's a report buyer.
Yes.
And one of the options is about abusing. I can't remember how it's worded. I don't want to mess up, but there's a way just to anonymously report so that.
Yes.
I'm going to have to go through that too.
Yeah, you need to report the buyer through the report buyer button. And then when you talk to eBay in these situations, because I've had a few of these because I don't take returns. So sometimes people make up reasons to return stuff. And you need to tell the person on the phone that you want to report the buyer also. What it does to them, I don't think anything. I really don't, unless they do it every day, all day. But eBay has really changed their tune about these cases in the past year. I used to fight the item not as described cases if I felt like they were fraudulent, and I won them. And now there's no way to win them. So I had a case where a person said, oh, I think this is not as described because I didn't notice that it had this type of sleeves or something like that. They're like, too bad, take it back. So they have gone, and their theory is, I guess their reasoning is they want buyers to stay on the site. So if you buy something on eBay and it's not right, you shouldn't have to have a problem, right? When you buy something on Amazon, they take it back. When you buy something on Target, they take back. So when you buy something on eBay and you have a bad seller, it shouldn't be a problem for the buyer, but it's really not. It seems very unjust to good sellers when you have a fraudulent buyer and they're kind of like, well, that's the cost of doing business. And so that's one of the things. If you're going to eBay Open, I know Hugo and Tiffany are going, you should have an agenda when you go and you actually speak to people that work for eBay. And you should talk to them, not complain, but kind of like tell them, hey, what are you doing to keep sellers happy too in this situation? And really frame a discussion. So when you do come across at eBay Open, you could end up sitting with, I sat one day at breakfast with like the CEO of customer service, like the top guy in customer service at eBay sat down and had breakfast with me, and other sellers. So you might come across people like that. And so if you have kind of a dialogue ready where you can professionally explain why that's not fair to good sellers, then maybe we can get it changed back to where it's a little more even. But right now, it's not that seller friendly. When a buyer, all they have to say is item not as described, and they win, which is not really fair.
No, which is again, we're able to offer free returns, and most of our free returns are on clothing that we put into the possibility of like billing it into the cost. But yeah, at that point, it's just trying to abuse the system, which is why we were like, nope, reporting.
Mm-hmm. Well, they don't want to pay the shipping. They don't want to lose the shipping that they paid to get it to them. So
what I was going to say is, luckily, they didn't ruin the item just to,
it's true.
They could, because I had one that actually put a stain. I know she just didn't like it, or she wore it to wherever she wanted to go. It did not have that stain on it.
Right.
Can see in the pictures. She put a little tiny stain in an inconspicuous spot. She must have felt guilty, right? Because she put it in an inconspicuous spot, but it was enough to where I had to take the INAD.
They put it like in the bottom inside seam of the corner cup.
Well, I must have felt guilty, but there are some people that will just probably flat out ruin our items. So yeah, that'd be cool if you guys go to eBay Open to keep that bug in their ear. I do it in our influencer meetings, but who knows?
Well, if you get too many items not as described cases on eBay, they can raise your fees.
Oh, yes.
That's a new thing.
Yes.
And that's terrible. That's not fair.
That happened to Chris, 10K. He openly confessed, and I know someone it just happened to that hasn't said it openly, so I can't say the name, but it is happening. It's 5% now, isn't it?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not there, but then so you should probably fight them even. I mean, but you can't win on those cases. So if they send you something back totally different than what you sent, but I call every time. Like I call whenever there's a problem buyer because I just feel like I got to get it out. I got to vent.
If nothing else, we can all waste eBay's time. Oh my God, I hope you don't hear me say this. We can waste their time on the phone where they'll be like, okay, we got to do something. Now this is costing us money because we're on the phone with our sellers that we have to be nice to because they're good sellers. And some of them have concierge service.
Right. And I mean,
like, okay, we got to do something.
I mean, I've sold, I don't know how many. I have 2 accounts. I've sold thousands and thousands and thousands of things on eBay. If I make the mistake, I admit it. I'm a good seller. They should believe me versus, especially if it's like a new buyer, a person with no feedback or low feedback or whatever, but they've sort of taken the buyer's always right. And I mean, as a buyer, you can understand that because if you come across a bad seller, which I seem to find all the time, and you get something not as described, it sucks. You have to return it. You have to go to the post office. You're not in a regular business of packaging things to send them back. So I can see why they do it, but it just it sucks as a seller. So when you get the bad buyer.
No, yeah, completely. Which is, again, why I think by reporting, even if it doesn't help you, but bring attention, the next person that it affects, you might be able to give them a hand by this eBay being able to see that, this is the second time. So the first person had to pay up, but you will cover you.
You opened up Pandora's box with that topic.
All right. Well, moving on though because that was a good topic. Reseller tips or work smarter.
Oldest to youngest, right? Okay. Okay. Just off the top of my head, I don't have anything handy. Off the top of my head, I hope everyone is paying attention to the new post office rules and this goes into something Tiffany and Hugo just talked about of the dimensional. Because that goes into consideration for calculating the cost now. And so that's very important. We can't, like some of us experienced sellers, we can pick something up and go, I know what this is. I know how much this weighs. I got it. Now we got to consider not the item, but the box with the packing material possibly. If it's hard
dimensional weight.
Dimensional weight too. Dimensional is taken into consideration with not just with the weight. So I hope everybody caught that because it's very important. You could lose money if you didn't catch that. Go read up on it.
Yep.
All right. Well, yeah, no, totally agree with that. Because those are changes that are going to cost money. And if we're not ready or start changing our systems, like we could definitely end up losing money on items real easily.
I think that it's just going back to what I was talking about before. Poshmark allows home goods now. So even if you're not a clothing seller, you should sign up for Poshmark. It's free to list over there. And anything under 5 pounds right now ships for like under $7. So if you have some heavy hard goods, they do have a list of what they allow and don't allow, and it's very vague. And there's a big argument going on the Instagram Poshmark community because you're allowed to sell things like tableware and picture frames, but it says you can't sell glass and ceramics. And so some people think you can. Some people have heard from Poshmark and they said, if you sell a picture frame with glass, that's okay. And if you sell a coffee mug, that's okay. So there's this, it's very vague, and Poshmark You can't get anybody on the phone, but it's a great opportunity for those of you who aren't on there yet. It's super easy to list. I cross post from my phone every night. I go into my eBay listings. I screenshot my photos if they're not on my phone. I cut and paste my description. It takes a minute at the most to cross post over there, and you could be getting some more sales. So it doesn't cost any money to list. So that's my tip, is if you have been avoiding Poshmark because you're scared of it, or you're not, or you don't sell clothes, now you can sell other things. And Poshmark is way more lenient about things. Like if you listed something that, I'm not telling you to do this, but if you listed a coffee mug, and right now we don't know if you can or cannot list coffee mugs on Poshmark because it's one of those vague things, and they take it down, nothing happens to you. I don't know. I don't know what you have to do to get kicked off of Poshmark. I haven't heard of anyone getting kicked off of there. So, you know, as long as you're following the rules to the best of your ability, they're like the cool kids. They don't really care if you're smoking in the bathroom or whatever, versus eBay would like kick you off, right? So if you have some hard goods and vintage things, try them over there. The worst that could happen is you're wasting a couple minutes of your time. The best thing that could happen is you're selling more stuff and making more money.
That shipping is epic. I hope it stays that way.
I don't think it will.
Oh my God.
Remember what happened with Macari? Macari used to be cheap too.
Yeah.
So we'll
I think
see.
that changed too. But definitely going to hop on there before they do change it.
Can I add one question about that? I've been keeping up with the controversy too of what's allowed and what's not, which is why I haven't started cross-posting yet. Do you know why is it a separate category? I keep going to like shop and looking at the categories. There's no separate categories. You have to choose men or women's. Like,
I know. I don't think the app is all up to date. Like when I list, it says home, but I don't know if I can search home goods on my phone. I'm sure they're just updating.
You have to choose women other or men other.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
On my phone, I can list, there's a category of home and it has all the things.
Oh,
that
okay.
you can
Maybe
list.
I haven't checked it for 3 days.
I'm going to look right now and try to do a screen share if I can. Keep going. I'll see if I can figure it out.
That was my question, is like, are they going to make it a separate shopping category? Because women other or men other, I don't really want to do it that way. That's limiting.
Yeah. Well, she does that. Well, how about you, Kenneth? Do you get any tips?
Tips, organization, Lord forbid. One thing I've recently started doing, I'm about as ADD as F. I started recently making lists of what I had to get done, and Lord, it's helped me even at 57. I tell you, but as far as inventory, guys, I want to show you what I do. I go into my word processor. A025 represents the bin number. I end up laminating that sheet prior to cutting them out so that they look like this. I put a 3-cent binder clip on them. The lamination makes them last forever. And once I have that done, I end up labeling the package with the inventory number that has been printed and laminated on the package, a weighed package, mind you, and I put the binder clip on the package. That way I can find it quickly. And if the binder clip comes off, I can always see it on the package itself. Once I ship an item, I remove the binder clip and I throw it in my handy coffee cup. And then when it's time to list again, I keep my coffee container right there when I photograph. Every listing I have has the actual inventory number in a photograph on my listing, just for a third means of locating a product. That's inventory. And oh yeah, I always weigh everything. Everything's prepackaged. When I print labels out, I go to bulk. I just print them all out. There's no weighing, there's no packaging. Granted, listing takes me forever, but at least when the items do sell, it's a quick process. Tip of the day, guys.
I do that with my shipping too. Everything's already ready to go, and I just slap the label on it. It makes the shipping go faster.
Yeah, the
Indeed.
time is so you just use the time in the front end instead of the back end. It's not really a waste or anything.
Correct.
Yeah, well, we kind of do this somewhat in the middle, or because Tiffany does the same thing. She'll put a label with the bin number and the item number, so we know if it's in bin, say 825, we know the item number within that is 14. But she uses address label, so it's sticky. So she'll write it down by hand real quick, stick it on there, and it's stuck at the top corners, kind of like looking through a book or a file cabinet.
So
I can see it.
all our clothing items are stacked vertically inside the bin in chronological order. So if it's bin A1, then it just goes 1 through 20. And then on there will be the weight of the package, so that when Hugo pulls it out for shipping, he'll know, okay, this is going to go first class. He's not going to have to worry about it. Or if it's over a pound, then he knows it's going to go in a full rate. So then I'll simplify the shipping time for him. The only thing that we do I laminate the tag that goes on the outside of the bins, just so that those tags don't get messed up or they fall off or, whatever. But I think our tip would be keeping up with your bookkeeping every month. And like we've talked about this before, but the spreadsheet that I'm using now, I adjusted. Not Your Dad CPA has a free worksheet out there for anyone interested. If you don't have a spreadsheet or a way of keeping track of your finances every month and keeping track of your sales, he does a free one. I looked over his and I kind of made changes to it to adapt it to what I want to see. I want to keep track of our net sales. And I also put in like location of where we're picking it up to see if these places are giving us our best inventory. If these stores are where we want to keep going back to on a weekly basis or monthly basis. And then I also have a tab in there to keep track of returns. So if this item has been returned to us, then I know in order for us to make profit on it, then we need to increase this by X amount for relisting. So once a week, I do it on Sundays, my spreadsheet Sunday, but every Sunday morning, I will spend about an hour and I will go through the bookkeeping for each of the platforms that we're on, which has helped with keeping on top of our goals for the next month. So last month, it was a week before the end of the month, and Poshmark was, I think, down like $600 or something like that from the previous month. And so I made it a goal to match that 600, and then we started sending out offers. But that was just a way for us to keep on top of our goals every month, and then see where we're losing money or which platform is doing better for us.
Yeah, I mean, so like in that case, the reason you could miss it that you're not on track, we were getting sales in through Poshmark. There just wasn't that many. We had it almost daily, but there weren't many and they weren't high profit. So even though it looked like we were busy on Posh, we weren't up to our numbers. So had she not looked at that, we would have not really noticed that we weren't up to our numbers.
Yeah.
I love that ideal, that extra column. I've never heard that from anybody. That's help me where you source things to see if there's some place that's really like number one. I love that idea.
Yeah, and that's because we have I mean, thankfully we have a few thrift stores that are near our work. Like right now after this, we head out to. She's gonna head to to do the office at school.
You're gonna teach.
Then I'm gonna go teach. But in that area, we have at least like 4 or 5 different thrift stores. But because if we're on a time crunch, we want to know if we have only an hour to thrift in the next 2 days, where should we focus that hour?
Yeah.
So that's why that tracking has really helped us hone in.
Side hustles.
Yeah.
Moving on to side hustles, Yvon.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I forgot to mention this last month. Okay, so one of my other side hustles and sources of a little bit of income is playing poker. Now, I haven't got to go to any big live tournaments lately. I'm still, kind of acclimating to dad being here, being a caretaker, and I've had so many projects up in the air. But I play online. Well, my favorite website that used to let USA players, if you're a poker player, you know what I'm getting ready to say, would let us really deal with real cash, deposit and get payouts in real cash because of Black Friday with the Department of Justice. If you're a poker player, you know what I'm talking about. They got scared and went to Bitcoin. Now, it's still manageable, but I got to jump through some more hoops now, because now I would get paid in Bitcoin instead of real cash that I could withdraw once I hit a certain threshold. So that was kind of a bummer, but it's still workable. That's one of my other side hustles, playing poker. That's all on that from me today.
Well, that's pretty cool. You should do a video with your experience with Bitcoin. Everyone loves to talk about Bitcoin, and nobody really understands it.
I'm not that good in it. I do own a little bit. I'm not that good in it, and I also participate in Steam. But I'm starting to think Steam is more of a pyramid scheme, but I won't take up any more time with that on this month.
All right. Well, next sign up for tip. I mean, what was it, tip? No, diversity. Sorry. Julie.
I've been doing a lot of law work. I'm a lawyer, and I have a consulting business, and luckily it's been busy. And I also have my sourcing school. Can sign up. We teach you how to. I think one of the most important things in reselling is what you're buying to resell. You can have beautiful listings and beautiful photographs, and if you're paying too much for your inventory, like we were talking about, if you get returns, that adds right into your cost of doing business. So buying things that are going to sell for high profits for low cost is a great way to build your business without working harder. So that's all I've been doing. Plus my kids have been in and out because college is done for the year and they're in and out. So it's been kind of crazy around here, but good. All good.
Good. I believe, Kenneth, your whole thing is side hustle now, right?
Yeah, I tell you guys, my side hustle, I was looking at my account yesterday. My side hustle, I have $11,000 invested in it, and I have yet to make $1. So my side hustle's a bit of a negative, to say the least.
You're in the red.
Yeah, definitely. Maybe in the future it will pay off. And not even eBay income for last month. Crazy.
It's part of doing business, though. It's part of being an entrepreneur to, kind of go all in and give it a shot.
A little bit of startup cost in just about anything, even reselling, even though it's minimal, right? Still, there's something, a little bit.
Yeah. But tips back too. With our side hustles, she came back from Dallas with a lot more knowledge, right? For your
So my Dallas trip was real. Dallas was okay. But the stuff that I learned at my conference was amazing. And I came back to work with just a lot of plans for myself in the financial aid position. I've been really busy at the school. We've been getting a lot more applications in, so I'm definitely working with a lot more students now, getting their packages set up, currently prepping for a Department of Education visit. So I'm learning a lot about the different laws and stuff that go into financial aid. Yeah, but it's been different, and it's a really great learning experience for me, and I really like it. Partially, it's a lot of organizing, and I'm organizing all the files for like audit, and I like doing that, and I get to work on like spreadsheets and keeping track of everything. So I'm actually really having a lot of fun with it. And then our school, like our admissions is growing, so we had to hire a lab instructor, which is this guy.
Whoa.
Well, yeah, so now I'm working back at the school during day, so I've adjusted my restaurant hours so I can make sure I get in there.
So Monday and Wednesday,
Monday
which
and
is
Wednesdays,
today.
yeah. So from here, we're heading straight over there. But it's fun for me. I enjoy it. I get to be in education and like teaching people proper, and not just teaching them like proper form with the exercises, but the reasons behind things and how to properly communicate with people. Because at the end of the day, personal training is a big, like it's almost like an hour-long session with a counselor of some kind. Because
yeah, it's therapy.
Yeah.
But at the school during labs, it goes over anatomy and physiology, and then the reason behind what you're doing, why you're doing it, muscles and bones that are being used, how you're supposed to properly be in a position so that you don't actually injure yourself, how to be in a position for an exercise that most people look at as very simple, how to do it so that, you know, your knees don't buckle or your back doesn't go out on you. If, you know, a lot of people have back issues, and part of lab is to learn how to work with people with different injuries. And not just telling someone like, oh, hey, you're gonna lose 5 pounds. That's not what we do as personal trainers, but we actually teach our clients about proper form, how to actually move their bodies in a functional way.
Yeah, so getting a chance to do that, it's always fun. Yeah, that's our side.
I've been an instructor too for massage therapy, and that was my favorite. Nobody else, none of the other instructors wanted to teach. Hey, Kenneth, move your mic from your keyboard because everybody's watching you type. Just move your mic over a little bit. That was nobody else. None of the other instructors wanted to teach anatomy and physiology because that was a harder part. They wanted to teach the fun stuff like the showing. Well, I can't remember what it's called. I loved that. I loved helping people understand that, and my students not being afraid, students of all ages. Hugo, have you already started?
Yeah, I had the first class last week, but I've done this in the past too. A few months ago, there was an evening class, and they needed an instructor.
We're doing it for about a year. And the evening.
You know the gratification of helping people not be afraid of that. You're going to pass your test. I'm going to help you. It's not that hard. Like the bones, guess what? Yeah, there's a lot of them, but there's a lot of them. There's 2 of them, so you're halfway done. That's what I would tell them. Like muscles, sometimes there's 2 of them. You're halfway there. I love that. I still have all my books just in case I ever want to go back to that. I could just, like, my heart's melting right now because I know what happens to you guys. I know what it feels like to help the students with that.
Yeah, I mean the lab portion, it's 2 hours.
Yeah.
And yeah, it flies by. Talking to the different groups, and the way we run labs at school, they're doing their own training between each other. I try to stay out of it. I just walk by, ask a couple questions, make sure they know why they're doing whatever they're doing, and yeah.
Do you have a skeleton? Did you name your skeleton?
Oh, there's one in the classroom.
Yeah.
I mean, so my portion is at the gym, so I don't need a skeleton because we're at the gym. All right. Well, so we're gonna have to skip the Q&A part because we did run a little bit longer. But anyone watching this later on, or if you have questions right now in the chat, put them in the comments, and we will make sure to. If we can't get them to them, we'll let the others know and have them come on over and answer.
Leave us some comments. We'll come back. Leave us some comments, you guys. It helps us out too.
Yes. And then our mantras before our goodbyes. Do you got a mantra?
Well, another one of my favorite ones, you guys. Keep your love alive. Keep your love alive. There's plenty of songs with that theme if you need some help. But keep your love alive.
That's a really nice one. How about you, Julie?
Enjoy the ride.
I like that too.
Kenneth?
Kenneth?
Oh, peace, love, unity, and respect is the way to roll, guys.
Yes, I love that.
All those are great, and on track with that, it's gonna be just do whatever you're doing, do it with passion and a positive purpose. I mean, and that positive purpose, try not to always let it be money. If you're selling items, keep in mind it's because you want this item to make somebody else's life happy or serve a purpose for them. If it's a tool, then keep in mind I'm selling this tool to help somebody do a job, and not awesome, I just made $5. I forget about it, I'm done. You know, and so it's really nice to, with everyone else's positive love, or
This is why I love you guys. Seriously.
now it's been a great show. And then also, again, everyone that's in the chat, if you guys could please do us a favor and hit that thumbs up. Share this with others to let them know what's going on. I mean, we all have different views on reselling as well as our side hustles. And if you haven't yet, if you're watching this later on or not, subscribe. And also to the rest of our channels. We got great content coming up. I don't know if Kenneth has content up, but I'm sure at some point he will.
Maybe.
And again,
We'll get him to host one. We'll get him to host one of these.
yes, that'll be his first video.
Breaking his channel.
But again, this is our once a month show we do all together, the Generation 1099, and it's on the
First Monday. So we will be back in July.
yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thank you again. Hope everyone's having a great day.
Bye.
Have a great month.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.